Thank you for joining me today on Delicious by Debbie, and I'm going to make a chicken casserole. The original recipe is called Ritzy chicken, and the reason it's called that is because Ritz crackers are on top of it. I happen to use Townhouse crackers, but it's called Ritzy chicken, and I'm going to show you how I do that. First of all, you can use store-bought and canned chicken. You can buy chicken breast or chicken meat and cook it and cube it up. Or you can get a rotisserie chicken and debone it and cut it up into chunks and use it that way. Or you can do what I am doing, and I am using my home canned chicken. I'll tell you how I did this. I got chicken breasts for a really good price at the meat market that I shop at. And I brought the chicken breast home. They were big, and I cut them up into chunks and just put them into the jars raw. Didn't add any water, added a half a teaspoon of salt, and some herbs de Provence. You can see the dark herbs in the top of it. Sealed them and pressure canned them according to the correct standards, and they made their own juice. So I have to drain that juice off for this recipe. So I'm going to go ahead and get that draining so that it's ready for us to use. And I need to break it up a little bit because in the jars, as it sealed, as it cooked and pressure cooked, it kind of got together in a glob. And this chicken, when it's canned this way, is delicious. If I was making like chicken soup or something like that, I would save that broth, but I don't need it for this casserole. So I'm gonna let that drain a little bit so I don't have the juice. And I have an 8-inch square pan that I have greased. I have that ready. But in the meantime, we're gonna make the sauce that goes over the chicken. And it takes 1 can of cream of chicken soup. So we'll go ahead and get that in the bowl here so I can get this mixed up and have it all ready. And you don't dilute this soup or anything. Actually, I made this once and I didn't have cream of chicken, so I used cream of mushroom and nobody knew the difference. So we want a can of soup and we want 8 ounces, which is 1 cup of sour cream. I'm using a light sour cream. So I'll put a cup of sour cream in it. Very easy to make, and this can be made and frozen, which is what I will do today because I'm not cooking this today. But I also, in the directions, will put the time to cook it and the temperature and everything in with the recipe so that when you want to cook it, you can. So 1 cup of sour cream. Some salt and pepper, and I don't use a lot of salt because canned soups are pretty salty anyway, so I'm not going to put too much in. Some pepper. I didn't measure these, obviously. Going to put a half of a teaspoon of minced garlic, and you know what? I have fresh for the canned garlic. I think I'll use that. I'm going to use the minced half of a teaspoon, maybe a little bit more. That didn't look like too much. I would say that was a teaspoon of minced garlic and a teaspoon of minced onions. Then again, here again, you could use fresh if you had them. I just am not going to cut a fresh onion just put in this one recipe, and then just mix that all together. This will go over top of the chicken in the casserole dish. I'm Another reason I'm using this 8-inch dish is I have a nice lid for it so it goes in the freezer nicely. All right, and that's all. That's what we put on the chicken. So I think our chicken is probably done draining here. I like to break it up just a little bit, otherwise I don't mind some of the big chunks, but I like to make sure I get those herbs that I had on top mixed into so they're not all in one spot. All right, I'm gonna put the chicken in there. Just spread it around the dish evenly. I'm gonna kind of separate it a little bit now so that some of this topping goes down in it also. I don't like it smashed down in there so that this won't work its way down through. Okay, I'll put this on top now. This is probably one of our favorite chicken casseroles, and we especially like it with leftover smoked chicken or turkey. When my husband has smoked it in his smoker, it is delicious that way. And then like after Thanksgiving or when he has smoked, that is just probably his favorite for sure, and all of ours. I'm just going to kind of mix that just a bit so it gets down in all of that. And as it cooks, it'll work its way down too. All right. Smooth that out the best I can. Okay, we're good to go. That's finished. Now we're going to do the crumbs, cracker crumbs that go on top. And I just use a plastic Ziploc bag, and I'm using Townhouse crackers. If I had leftover cheese crackers, I would use those. In fact, I may check and see if I don't have any leftover cheese crackers. Last time I made this, I had some Cheez-Its that were getting a little bit stale. They weren't as fresh as they had been, so I used those, and oh, we really enjoyed that. That gave it a really nice flavor. And since we like, you're supposed to use just one sleeve. That wasn't a full sleeve of crackers. But since we enjoy the cracker topping almost as much as the casserole, I'm going to use that partial one and another whole one. And I'm going to use my rolling pin, brush them. That's pretty good. Now I'm going to put these on top of here. Just going to open one end of this bag so I can kind of sprinkle them on. And that is more crackers than you need, but that is the way we like it. I don't think I could ever put too many crackers on it for my husband. He loves it. And it does get crunchy as you bake it on top. It gets crunchy, so it makes it really good. All right, one more thing. melted a stick of butter. Now I'm going to drizzle that over it all. And that is ready to go in the freezer or the oven, either one. If I was going to bake this right now, I would put it in the oven at 350 for 30 to 45 minutes, probably more like 45 because I like mine to get crunchy on top. But I'm not going to do that, and none of this is warm, so I can actually put the lid on this and put it right in the freezer, and we'll have it when we want it. I would go ahead and bake it today, but my husband is away today and tomorrow, and I certainly can't eat all of this, so I'm going to wait till he's home since this is his favorite. Hope you'll try it sometime. Wanted to show you what this chicken casserole looks like just fresh out of the oven. A little bit too hot to even eat.